So as a moderator, my job is to put in, slot in possible time to, answer some of the questions. So keep the questions coming. Okay, without further ado, I think it's about time. So welcome to the session that we have today. If we call it the entrepreneur resilience through different generation, not difficult generation, different generation. So what we have here is somebody from the 20s, somebody's from the almost 40, and of course somebody in his 60s, almost 70, and you will have a very interesting view of different thinking of different generation, and hopefully that will give you some insights on how to probably run your business. Now, it's a collaboration event by SAFRA, Entrepreneur Club, and Global Entrepreneurship Network Singapore, known as GEN. I'm Clarence. I'm both your speaker and your moderator for tonight. Now, to give you a background of the SEC, the club started in 2011 to provide opportunities for NS men to network with other NS men who might have a business. And one of the channels is through events such as this Zoom session. Now, before we start, let me encourage you to turn on your camera, and again, feel free to drop your questions or any comments in the chat box. So if you can't hear me, if I'm not clear, you want to repeat something, let us know. The camera is to turn on the camera is so that we can take a nice photo of all the participants. So this one would enable us to just remember that all of you have attended. So if you could turn on your camera, that would be good. I don't see much people turning on their cameras. Hi, Darius. Well, we have a live stream link, so if you can copy and paste or put it on your social media, on WhatsApp, and you share with your friends, please do. The Facebook link is also available there. Okay, I think most of them are kind of camera shy. So shall we take the photo? Sorry, who is taking the photo?
Hey, give me a minute. Let me do the screenshot, okay? Okay, ready? I count to 3. Give me a minute. One. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check.
Everybody looks funny. Okay, looks like it's okay. So well, let me introduce our first speaker. He's none other than Mr. William Sim. He's actually my neighbor in my Ubi office, and he's the managing director of Besco Building Supplies Private Limited and Top Tech Building Supplies Private Limited. He actually has more than 30 companies, if I'm not wrong, but he will show you later his list of companies. He's an entrepreneur with diverse business experience. He's a waterproofing specialist by training from Barcelona, Spain, and started his first business in 1980. That's before I was born, and was responsible for all the waterproofing and insulation works at the Singapore Airport Terminal 1 and the Terminal 2 Two Fingers extension. And he also see several projects from the MRT waterproofing projects, and one of the longest is the 27-kilometer viaduct from the MRT station from Redhill to Jurong. Well, he's also the managing director of Top Tech Buildings Supplies Private Limited, specializing in cast in situ lightweight concrete and special fibers for concrete and road cracks control. He's the managing director of Besco Building Supplies, specialized in HPL toilet partitions, food court table and chair, and theater chair from Japan. So the next time if you visit a toilet, take a look at some of the corner, you will see there's a little name called Besco. Yeah, that's from his company. So without further ado, I'll let Uncle William take over the mic. Uncle William, over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Clarence. Thanks all for giving our support on our event. I started my first job at age of 21 as purchaser of Swiss conglomerate Diethelm Singapore Private Limited with 7 divisions in August 1974 after my national service at SAF. My division was known as PCK division with 3 departments in partition, ceiling, and kitchen business. In this division, there is another business selling ducting for pre-stressing, a JV with Australian known as Diethelm Metro. As a purchaser, my job is to buy building material for above. I became a super salesman, learning from vendors, trying to sell their products to me. In 1978, at the age of 25, my division manager promoted me to be sales engineer to sell Texta SA waterproofing membrane. This waterproofing product was transferred from Diethelm Aluminium division to my PCK division, as that division was unable to sell a container after 3 years. I was very lucky to sell 8 containers upon taking over. Texta SA was very happy of my performance, and they branded me as Spark Plug of Texta SA. In 1979, I was in Barcelona for product training in waterproofing and epoxy polyurethane injection grouting. Diethelm was a good company, good training ground, and very nice company to work with. But after my return from Barcelona, my division manager left with new management, and I'm not happy and resigned to start my own company known as BES Private Limited. My journey as entrepreneur began in June 1980. I'm fortunate to kick off with a prestigious project, Singapore Changi Airport Terminal 1. BES Private Limited became market leader in waterproofing and lightweight concrete specialist with financial category of 5 million. Other project reference include Singapore Changi Airport Terminal 2 was done in 1991, Terminal 2 Two-Finger Extension 1995, MRT Viaduct from Redhill Station to Chinese Garden of 27 kilometers with 25 years guarantee against leakage. Expo MRT and Dobby God were my project reference. I started waterproofing business after 30 years with over 2,000 projects done. Reason for stopping is low profit margin and long liability. Today, my company specializes in cast in situ lightweight concrete. In recent years, we done a few swimming pool projects with various hotels using ACE Textile lightweight concrete to reduce the depth of swimming pool at 1.2 meter and below. Need to engage lifeguard. That means if the swimming pool is deeper than 1.2, the hotel need to engage lifeguard. So hotel like Fairmont Hotel, Marina Mandarin Hotel, Park Royal Hotel, and Concord Hotel. There are also other projects done. Is a Pinnacle at Duxton, Link Bridge on the 26th and 50 story, and Marina Bay Sands Michelin restaurant kitchen floor. In 1984, my brother Jack's company, Delton Engineering Supplies Private Limited, became 51% owned by BES Private Limited. We changed the name to BESCO by adding CO to BES. BESCO is doing very well since then, and in recent year, we changed our building name from the BESCO building to SDG Center, that stands for Sustainable Development Goal Center. In 1993, I went into education business, established Australian International School in Singapore with New South Wales curriculum. The school business was sold to UK education group Konita after 14 years of successful operation. The current Lorong Chuan campus was with investment of 50 million. Prior to selling, I have spent about 200,000 in franchising operation manual from preschool to year 12 with 50,000 grant from IE Singapore. Next slide, please. It was indeed a long journey for me with involvement in 37 companies with diverse business activity. Besides my own business, was also acting manufacturer in other countries like polyester fiber for crack control, AAC block, special cement, LED light, and others. Was appointed as iron mining consultant in Laos. Next slide, please. Now, looking back with many companies, but the best return were real estate and education. Next slide. Currently having 2 mentees in China, 2 mentees in China and 2 mentees in Kazakhstan. My lightweight concrete business has expanded to Outer Mongolia. Next slide. Oh no, next slide. I think it's blocked with the mentee.
It's the previous slide.
Previous slide. Next, previous. Yeah. So you can see this slide. I have 2 mentees at Kazakhstan and 2 mentees in China. So if you all need anything from China, just let me know. My mentee will help. The lightweight concrete has expanded also to Outer Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar many years ago, because that country is very cold at -40 degrees in winter. So everywhere they need the insulation. So if you like to be my mentee, please join Safra SEC member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Uncle William. I think I missed out a very important point. He's also the founder of the World Toilet Organization, which is pretty famous, I must say, because you know his brother Jack Sim is a very funny guy, and he's the well-known 厕所长, you know. So we actually have William today. He's the assistant 厕所长. Yeah. So anyway, then next, I'm actually the next speaker. So here's some. I will just start off and mention about the company that I'm helping now. Actually, it's my family business, and we were established in 1978, and we import and export kitchenware and plasticware to hotels and restaurants, not only in Singapore but also to Southeast Asia. Now, 1994 was the first year that we inventorized our goods using a computer system. And back then in 1994, this was unheard of for many companies because computer was at its infant stage. None of the computers are being put on to the internet. Internet was still at a very, very infant stage. And I was a little boy, and I saw how difficult it was to actually key in all the paper into a computer. But that effort that was put in 1994 actually helped to change the business a lot, because we were able to quote customers quickly because we know what we have in stock. So when we implemented a complete ERP system in 2010, it was quite a breeze, because we just need to change it so that the ERP system would take care of all the supply chain, all the customer relationship communications, and that actually helped us to reduce quite a bit of manpower. We have about 20 over staff now, including 10 delivery men. So we are considered a medium-sized company, and I will show around what we do in a moment's time. But 2020 is a very challenging year. As we know, COVID comes in and it hit our many of our business, not just locally but globally. And it was 2020 that many companies realized that, look, we have to do something. We have to change the mode of operation, and we have to change how we engage with the customers. Unfortunately, business like us is a little challenging, because we are a brick and mortar company. We supply kitchenware. We supply cups like this, cups and bowls, and it's, you can say it's for household, but whoever needs household products already have already have all the plates and bowls at home. So for restaurants, that was the only business that we could tag along. But as you know, after the circuit breaker, all the restaurants was closed. Everything also dabao, and it's tough for us to do business. Of course, we do have cleaning. We do have cleaning equipment. So the cleaning equipment that we sell to the hospitals, that was actually our department that got us survived through the pandemic last year. And the hospitals was buying all the cleaning equipment, upgrading all their dustbins to some those with material that doesn't grow bacteria, etc. But more importantly, I think 2021 was the year that we realized that social marketing is also something very important, because people are not able to go out and we can't travel. That's something that we all know. So the only way is to get ourselves into online presence and allow customers to see us more better. And one of the little pet project that my wife and I did was actually to do a Facebook Live that we actually sell some of this kitchen equipment on Facebook. And it's just funny. So I would just walk around, and you can see that this is what we sell. This is all the kitchen utensils. You can see cutleries, and I'm in the showroom. So these are all the buffet stuff, which pretty much has been here for the last 1.5 years, because we can't go buffet, right? but cleaning items, we do have a lot of cleaning items. So this was what we thrive on. And if you notice all these mop buckets, they are all color coded. So we actually do this pretty often. I'm actually showing you like a Facebook Live. What we do is to show customers what we have and do private shopping, so they can actually buy something they want. Say, oh, you want this knife? Okay, let's take a look at this knife. Something like that. So this is one of the methods that we use to engage with our customers. And actually, we do have some customers who come to us and say, hey, I've been from overseas. I actually never see your showroom before. And that actually is pretty interesting to us and to my parents, because we never realized that such an event could actually help us engage with our customers. And actually, we did have some orders in the end. So porcelain ware, all the shape and sizes, because I'm able to show you the fact that I'm able to show you the actual thing, and you have a feel of the size. Customers actually was more willing to give us an order. So this online presence was something pretty new to us, and we didn't know how to really exploit it. But doing this, we kind of like engage a little bit on the customer end, and that helps with the sales a little bit. Not too much, but I think with this Facebook Live, it's kind of like the de facto new thing that people are doing. But of course, if you talk about Uncle William, I think it's very difficult. You can't sell toilet partitions on Facebook Live. I do not know anybody who can put an order and say, hey, Uncle William, I want to buy 2 meters square of toilet partition. I think that's tough. We had a joke with a friend who runs a Teochew porridge business. It's the same thing. I don't think he can do Facebook Live, to sell Teochew porridge. So it depends on the product that we are selling. From a business point of view, I think firstly we have to understand the product that each company have, and then from the data that from the products that you have, maybe do a SWOT analysis. The strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, and have a good idea of how to go about marketing the product, and then derive a selling strategy. So much said, did the Facebook Live actually have any good profits? The answer is actually no, because at the end of the day, it's all about viewership. It's all about people understanding the product, and at the end, we can't really do too much, because it's just a lot of work to cater for individual customers. So just to wrap up the conversation, we did try. It's a good exercise for us. We actually got to know our product a lot better, and most of these people who tune into the Facebook Live were actually consumers rather than the restaurant owners. So it was a very different customer base that we have to deal with, and that's something that we felt that the feedback was pretty good. So for business owners, I think it is important that explore all the possible marketing methods, and then from there derive a good selling strategy. So to end this, that's all for my sharing. I will pass on to Jonathan, but before that, because I'm the moderator, so I have to do an introduction for him. Well, he started his entrepreneur journey at age 19. Having failed his first business, he started Graphite Academy in 2016 with a determination not to make the same mistake again when he first started. Graphite Academy started with a simple idea of providing quality teachers to vendor within the coding enrichment market. Under his leadership, Graphite Academy grew from a one-man operation to a pool of 60 freelance, multiple strategic partners with a team of full-time employees. Today, it is a go-to for quality coding education. For quality coding teachers within the MOE circuit, and is looking to become the preferred education partner for parents. 2021, he was awarded the Singapore Young Entrepreneur Award for quality education for the contributions in the education industry. So without further ado, I'll let Jonathan tell us more about his business.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Clarence. Wow, you guys are impressive. I just saw what Uncle William shared, what you shared. Wow. Okay, so my sharing is going to be a little bit different because what's going to happen is I think I got couple of slides to run through. And what I'm going to be sharing will be pretty much the journey for actually it's something fun over here. November is the month I started business back in 2011. So this month is actually my 10th year running business itself. So it's 10 years in the industry. So basically Safra Entrepreneur Club told me I got 10 minutes to share. So I thought, let's do a quick thing. Jaren, can I trouble you just press the slides? I think that's the title slide. Yeah. So what I'm going to be sharing is basically the 10 lessons I learned in the 10 years doing business under 10 minutes. So it's a quick one. And the concept behind this is to really share the lessons I've learned throughout the 10 years, the key milestone lessons, and how, and it basically tells you the story behind my business journey itself. So I think we can just get going, man. All right. So the first lesson I learned back at 19 years old was to understand that it's okay to risk. I started my business November 28, 2011. And that first business cost me $500. Now, at 19 years old, $500 that time was, to me, 2 nights of clubbing. So I thought, hey, it was either I spend it doing this or I went clubbing, and I decided, hey, let's give it a try. So I gave up two nights of clubbing that time. And that business ran from 2011 all the way to 2016, 2015, around there. So that was my first business, and more to come. So the first lesson I think for budding entrepreneurs, people who are interested, is it's okay to risk as long as you know what kind of, what's the, you basically manage your risk. I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs do. So let's move on to the next lesson. Yeah, and the next lesson is who you, this is a very important lesson. So one of the things I learned very early on in my career is who you listen to matters. When I first started out my career, I had 3 people I could listen to. All 3 of them were pretty successful in their own field of business. And I decided to select one of the person I learned from. And in a short time span of 3 years, that person I learned from became wildly successful, and today this guy's retired. So I learned a lot from him. And the first thing he taught me was, in any industry that you enter, look 10 years, 20 years above your age and look at their lifestyle. And if that lifestyle is something you want, you follow them. If that lifestyle is something you don't want, you don't follow them. So who you listen to matters. And that's something I learned very early on in my career. And I still maintain this to this point in time. All right. So let's go to the next lesson. All right. So lesson 3 is, this was fun. When you start a business at 19 years old, early 20s, people laugh at you. People mock you, and people avoid you. Why? Because you try to sell it to everybody, right? And this was really fun because everybody who you thought were your friends, they start laughing, they joke about it. The good friends stay. All right, those that laugh, they don't really stay. But the idea is you got to be prepared for this. And one of the ways to get through this is stay hungry. I was very hungry when I first started because I didn't come from a well-off background. My parents don't own businesses. So stay hungry. It helps you throughout this business journey. So for those in the audience who are, budding entrepreneurs, people who want to be business owners, this is something you got to expect and watch out for. So let's go next to lesson 4. So a lot of funny things, man. And so what happens is, in my first business, I did pretty well. By 21, I made enough money to kind of semi-retire. Don't get me wrong, it's not big money. It's actually nothing fantastic. It's just that I wasn't around and the business was running. So that what happened. My business went automated, and I went traveling for 2 years. So the concept behind this was the view at the top is worth it because after 3-4 years of slogging, and it wasn't that long anyway, you get a little taste of success. It's not a huge taste, a little taste, and you feel that hey, the journey is kind of worth it, right? So I think that's something I learned in lesson 4, and also that leads us to lesson 5, which is so lesson 5. All right, is fast success and arrogance is a deadly combination. Why I share this because after my first business did well, I spent all the money. Not only did I spend all the money, I alienated a lot of my friends because I was becoming an arrogant. I think for lack of word, I was becoming an annoying person. Let's use a better word. All right. So what happens is because of that, my first business collapsed. The basically I didn't answer to my team's responses. I didn't respond to them, and my first business collapsed. So I think one of this important point is when you have success, stay grounded because otherwise you could lose what you built overnight, and that's what happened to me. So then we move on to the next one. I started my second business, which is Graphite Academy. All right, and lesson 6 was very simple. It's pretty much it's okay to quit. Because I went back after traveling and my business collapsed and figured, okay, let's go and rebuild that business, right? Make it do well, make it successful. And I couldn't do it. I lost the basically the passion behind it. I lost the drive to kind of go back to something that I kind of already built and then lost everything. So sometimes it's all right to quit because I quit and Graphite Academy would have started if I didn't quit the first business. All right. And let's go to lesson 7. So lesson 7 is really about the value of your network because what happens is when I quit my first business, after spending full time, 7 years kind of involved in that business, I built a huge network and Graphite Academy really started because somebody gave me a call one day and said, hey, you sell well, you public speak well, you want to get into the education field. And I'm like, what? Sure, why not? Let's give it a try. So your value to your network matters, as well as the quality of a network matters. In fact, today, even right now, my network is pretty strong, and I still go out networking here and there. The idea is really to make sure that people know who you are and people know what you bring to the table. So that's, I think, what I can share on this end itself. So let's move on. Lesson 8 is pretty much solve problems well, get paid. So this is really the start of Graphite Academy. I got involved in the education industry, and I realized there was a fundamental problem. At that time, I was working as a subcontractor, so I wasn't an employee. I was a subcontractor to a major company, and I realized that hey, I can solve your problems, but you got to pay me something else than what you offered me. So I negotiated for a different kind of remuneration rate, and Graphite Academy started from 1 man to 8 trainers to 30 people, and now we got a pool of 60 teachers running around every day, running around your MOE schools, teaching them coding itself. All right, so solve problems well, get paid well. And then let's move on. And this one is a pretty important lesson I learned because when I first started out business, my whole focus was getting my soft skills up to par. When I first started business, my soft skills weren't really good. I didn't like to talk to people. So, that's a really bad thing for business owners. So by the time I started Graphite Academy, my soft skills was pretty all right, but I had no hard skills. And I realized that you need a combination of both to get you towards your destination. So both skills matter. It's how you want to use them. Okay, let's go lesson 10. I got 1 minute left, so quick one. And I think the fun part about business is bring people along because honestly, I think what I really like about my business now is it's not just me. I have a nice team behind me. I have 60 trainers that look out for. And all of us working on towards, bettering the education world. I think that's what brings the business to take. So my business journey is only 10 years, not like Clarence and Uncle William, who has done 20, 30, sometimes even 40 years of business. So that's the 10 lessons I've learned just from a short 10-year time span. I'm going to end with a bonus. I think this is the new name of the game. So I got one more lesson after this. Yeah, last time we were taught to work hard. And then I think when I was growing up, we taught to work hard, work smart. Today, I believe it's no longer two. You need all three. You got to work hard, work smart, and work fast. Because everything now moves at lightning speed. You're either fast or you get left behind. And you can't do fast with shoddy work, you got to do fast with quality work. So I think that's what we're all talking about. So I think that's a quick rundown of my sharing. I hope it helped. So I'll just pass the time back to Clarence. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you all learned something. Thank you.
Well, Jonathan, I mentioned we have a mutual friend, right?
Yeah.
You never really tell me what you do, and then now I look at it, I'm like, whoa, why didn't my friend tell me earlier about you? We able to share a lot of information, and I think you have pointed out a lot of things which probably Uncle William and myself have gone through also.
Yeah.
It's not a easy task these days. But I think you enjoyed your life also. You went traveling, you went. I think that's a good balance. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was too early for me that time to go do all these things. So never mind. Graphite Academy started. If I didn't do that, that would have happened.
To be fair, I think there's no such thing as too early, because let's say now you have $1 million in your bank and you want to travel, where can you go? Right?
Money.
So I think COVID have changed a lot of this the way we think and the way we work. And I think Uncle William also, this COVID has definitely affected his work, because his GM actually told me, oh, we can't find workers. The workers are locked in the dormitory. They can't come out, and stuff like that. So it's a challenge for almost every industry. I have not heard of one industry that tell me, okay, other than the hospital workers, I have not heard of somebody that tell me, oh, we got so much work and we can't, we can't find time to rest. So Uncle William, can you share with us what do you do for
I'm here already.
COVID?
Okay. Why later unmute? What do you do?
Yeah. Can speak.
Yeah. Do we need to cancel? Yeah.
We hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So this COVID really affect everybody. So I'm an entrepreneur with a different experience, exposure, and this COVID really I do not know how to go about, and I have mentee in China. So I look at, maybe the best business to do is toilet paper. So you can see different country, they are fighting over toilet paper. So I asked my mentee, you go and look for a big company, and the China company very big in toilet paper. So he told me, I said, do you do export? I said, no, 我们只做国内. That means you don't need do. Then I said, oh, that's good. That means anything outside China is mine. I be the agent. But actually, it's very tough. I checked with the pricing in Sheng and NTUC. It's very marginal profit. The only profit you can do is you can do container sale. That means no double handling. The container arrive and you open, so everybody rush and buy the toilet paper. If you have to unload the toilet paper to the warehouse and get the lorry to deliver, credit them, you really cannot do it. So only people like Sheng Siong, they are big timer. So this is one. But for me, you got to look at the time keep on changing. So I think the best to do is to follow government policy. Now government talk about green energy, buying these maybe bricks. So actually I have a bricks factory. It's 110 acres in Malaysia, Kulai. My bricks factory is slightly bigger than Vatican. Vatican only 105. Mine is 110. So now I'm looking at, if you got anybody who want to go into the solar, that means we make the grid. So the land is so big, so maybe we got to change it to solar, make money from the sun. So from time to time, we keep on changing. Like recent coal is in demand from China. So we're looking, but it's quite a difficult job from Indonesia, from Kalimantan or this. So not every business are so easy to do, but have to explore. If you try, you never try, you do not know. And I agree with Jonathan. Actually, networking is very important. So that's why we need to have a very wide network. Also, try not to be lazy. Join many different organizations, and from there you make a lot of friends. So from the friend, as what he said, you who to listen to, you listen, see the one you think is good, so you just follow his path. Yeah. So that's all for me.
I think you pointed out something very interesting, which is during COVID, not just Singapore, but Malaysia, Australia, Germany, Hong Kong, Indonesia, toilet paper, no stock. You know, you make a very good point, and I would link this with Jonathan. You got to work fast, because if you at that point of time you are able to bring in 2 or 3 containers of toilet paper, right? I think is right. But and why work fast? Because I think we all know that we, for the last few months, we have encountered one of the world unprecedented supply chain strain, and this not only affect business like ours, but it affect all the downlines. I think for Jonathan's case, not so much, because you are more service based.
Yeah, correct. Other than that, some of our supplies also affected by supply chain. So you got like price increase for no reason. They tell you, oh, cannot find microprocessors, cannot find the raw supply. So we do have that kind of issues. We have stock delays as well, because we do sell some products. So we do have stock delays. I think that's it, but nothing much other than that. I think you all will have more supply chain problems.
Because we are still a very brick and mortar product base, so it's challenging. You know, in fact, for the next few months, we are still expecting the supply chain to be on a weak side. Weak side meaning prices are high, you know, and it's difficult to do export. Shipping prices are crazy, and it's just challenging lah. But you know, if you have to work it out, I think that's what we all mention among a lot of the business owners is, I think we are all on survival mode to cut down costs, you know, to reduce inventory, to reduce wastage. I think that is the important part that every business should be looking into. Yeah. Okay, Thomas have a question. Is collaboration the way to go? I think his question is more like, how can we collaborate, right? I think that's a very, very good question, because I have not seen one business that can handle everything. Meaning, like you see, Jonathan, he does the service to customers, but he still needs somebody to supply him, like you see, the microprocessor or your books. Yeah. So like Uncle William is the same. I think he needs to have a lot of network, and we need all this network to help us link up with the necessary whether it's supplier or customers. Yeah. Oh, Thomas Low, Jonathan knows.
Yeah. Hi, Thomas. Yeah, I think on the collaboration side, maybe I share my experience. A lot of times we are taught to, collaborate win-win, right? It has to be a win-win situation. I think for myself, my experience was when I first started, I collaborated on the person I'm collaborating with win bigger. I win smaller. I think that's how I started. Because honestly, the first few deals I made, they were not win. They're like, oh, my basically the guy I'm collaborating with, the other party wins really big. I win a small. I don't lose. I still win a bit. Survival, and that's how I really started. And I think that helps as well if you're new in business and you're starting, because then it establishes your credibility on delivering results. So that's how I started, and I thought that helped really well. So today, of course, I don't do that anymore. But if it's necessary, I still will. But I thought it was a good way to collaborate. So instead of win lose, I let you win bigger. I win smaller, no issue. As long as I win something, it's still okay.
Well, from the distribution point of view, what Jonathan said is correct, because we distribute products to resellers in Indonesia, and the Indonesia reseller would sell to his or her customer, and it's important that they have to make money first, because if they don't make money, they won't sell the product for you. So it's more like we call it a commission, you know. That is the part that I think when you talk about collaboration, I don't think it's just on a surface collaboration, but more like if you are selling from a distribution, because I'm in the distribution business, so your distributor have to make money first before you can make them help you sell more. So if you are unable to give them the commission, then they will definitely say, oh, you know, I do so much work for you, but I don't make any money. Then what for? Yeah, I think that's the point. Now, Darius sent a message and says that, well, it's inevitable that these days to do business with Chinese businesses. So maybe Uncle William, what do you have, you know, as an advice to work with China businesses?
China, actually, in 1995, I entered China to sell roads fiber. So, the China, actually, all the concrete road and asphalt road, they are having a lot of cracks problem, especially Harbin. Harbin minus 40 degree when it's winter, and cold is plus 40. So the asphalt road all cracked. So they have to use polyester fiber. Today, I got no business because China every day they say 研究 and 考察, so they copy everything. So it's nothing. So if you ask me about China, actually a lot of American, if I say I be your agent, sell it to China, they say no thanks, because they afraid they will copy and go back to US to be competitor to them. So anyway, China now the things are not cheap. They almost know how to do everything. But today, if I look at, you know, they are number one in the highway, bridges, all that. But I'm very happy that I'm the man behind. Now they know how to use polyester fiber and polypropylene. I'm the one who introduced to them when I entered 1995. And my representative in Xi'an, China, there are 32 provinces. We managed to cover 23 provinces at that time. Those were the day we make a lot of money, but now zero, no more money to make. Yeah.
Interesting that Darius actually mentioned about China, because the last 10 years we joke, you know, God made the world, the rest made in China. There's almost every product that you see has a component from China. So either you work with them or you just can't live without a made in China product, you know. But having said that, we heard a lot of horror stories, like in the probably 80s, 90s, even down to 2000s. Supply chain in China, the suppliers are always trying to cheat you. You know, we have heard a lot of stories. But my experience in the last 5 years, China has become very concerned about such things because they themselves realize that they cannot be what they are 10 years ago or 20 years ago. They have to change their stance because they start to value intellectual property themselves because their own product has been copied, and they realize that in order to protect themselves, they have to really do a lot more work. And in fact, China now would actually collaborate with a partner in overseas because they also know that they need to understand the market better from a local and not just do it on their own accord. So that's my view on China suppliers lah. But I'm not sure, Jonathan, do you have any ties?
Yeah, we do have some issues with China suppliers, but honestly, I don't have extensive decade-long working relationship with them because my business is not as long as you guys. From what I understand now, they're actually changing their perception, like people's perception of China. I think they're moving towards the Japan side, where I think in the after World War II, Japan was like everything was made in Japan, right? Then after that, they became the high-tech, basically what they're known for today. I think China's following the same route. And a lot of the suppliers I work with from China, other than their prices are no longer cheap, they're actually still pretty professional and they get things done fast. So I think one of the things I would want to learn from them is how they do stuff, how fast they do things, what's the mindset, what's the hunger behind them. Because I think that's something that is really relevant to the entrepreneurship life. So I actually, some of them are pretty good, man. They can send me my stocks in like 3 days. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Well, let's see if there's any more question. Jovian asks, is there one key takeaway lesson? Maybe you should take that. We should take that question as one. Okay, how about we start with Jonathan? What is your one key lesson that you want? Because you have been showing us lesson 1 until lesson.
Wow. So because we education company, so we're very used to the lesson. Take away for me, yeah. Wow. Diversify business. And if you think it works because Uncle William super impressive. 30 different companies, so many different industries. I'm only one industry, one company. So that was really impressive. So I think as long as you know your business skills, diversify, do well, but of course make sure it works as well. Because I'm super impressed, man. Yeah. So I think that's my takeaway.
Okay, for me, I think we have like I mentioned, my parents' company, we have changed from computerization to ERP system, and then now to venturing to social media and online sales. One word lah, adaptability. I think we have to adapt to the ever-changing, and we always know the only constant is change. And we can see also now what is happening with all our COVID restrictions or what is always changing because new data are coming in, and things just have to change lah. So Uncle William, how about you? You want to wrap up something for us?
Yeah, actually, I would think the best is to have a different type of network. Just participate in all sort. I'm from I'm 10 years in the Singapore Heritage Society. Then you will meet all sort. You got European, got all. It's a different interest. Then I'm a member of Singapore Concrete Institute. Then all engineer, all talking about engineering. So they are from and then, every 2 years we have the Teochew World Meeting, International Teochew Convention. Actually, this year I supposed to go to Hainan province, but because of COVID, the last 2 years was in New Zealand. It's a rotate by rotation. So the network among Teochew, there are 210 countries Teochew, include Japan also got Teochew. So instead of exchanging card, we exchange book. That means the delegates will have a book and they will show their face and what they're doing. So the network is so good. You want to buy anything, you just say, brother, you are my Teochew brother or sister. So the network is real fantastic. So I think it's a very good. Also, so in 2003, I was conferred the Paul Harris Fellow for 35 years of community service. So I worked back, 2003, 35 years. That means start from 15 years old, I was doing community work already. So it's a real long track record. So what I would suggest, if you have the time, just go and be different type of activities, and you will meet a lot of friends. So sometimes you are lucky, you meet some the Chinese say 贵人, somebody who can help you, and from there I think is what I think is best to have a good network. Yeah.
I think Uncle William pointed out something very important. Sometimes you need a mentor, or a 贵人 to come in and say, hey, I have somebody who I can link you together, and that's how the marriage in the business can actually work. And actually sometimes that's all you need lah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the time. I think Uncle William, thank you for your wonderful experience, of your company. I didn't know you got so many companies, and we'll talk about it later. John, thank you very much for sharing with us your awesome lessons. I think everyone have learned at least one or thing. Okay, at least one lesson from you. Now, just to wrap up, what we have is we actually have a free SCC membership. This is exclusive for Safra members. So if you are a Safra member and you want to join us, drop us a text. I think the Safra members, some of the Safra wait, let me see. Some of the Safra guys are here. I can see Alex or Ming. So if you have any questions, you can drop a message and let us know if you have any other questions about Safra or any questions about the SEC. We will hope that you all can join our Facebook page. Do search for the Safra Entrepreneur Club on Facebook, and I think that's something that you can do to connect with us. And we will have more of these sessions going on every other month. That's at least in a plan. And Zoom session is the best for us to reach out to our members. And I hope that you can see some of our past events. It's all available in the archive. So do catch up. There are a lot of useful information. You'll see me giving speeches also, and you can see William giving his other views on many topics. So that's it. It's 8 p.m. past 8 p.m. Just want to say thank you again for your participation, and good night.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time tonight. Hope you guys have learned something from Safra Entrepreneurs Club. Look forward to seeing you a couple more days till 14th of November, where we have 2 more days of Entrepreneurship Week events. All right. So have a good time, good night, and have a good weekend ahead. See you.
Everyone.